Where are we today? If you look across the horizon, you'll see that we have a $33 trillion debt. This is what we're handing our children. We have illegal immigrants flooding across our border. We have stolen elections. Look how they're persecuting President Trump, our president, how they are trying to keep him from being a candidate in the presidential elections. Let's talk about how Joe Biden is getting off scot-free, and his son, Hunter Biden, and all the incriminating evidence that the news media does not want to talk about or will cover up. That's just the tip of the iceberg. What are we handing our children? Let's talk about here in Oklahoma. Let's talk about Washington County. From a 3-2 vote, the city council approved drag queen performances. That's where these individuals interact with children, our innocent children. Let's talk about this school system in Oklahoma City that just hired a drag queen for their superintendent. This is Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen. This is in our own backyard. These are the things that we're dealing with here. So what do we do from here? First of all, we have to elect individuals that are willing to actually stand up and say, no, we're not going to allow this, whether it be at your school board, your city council, your county commissioners, your sheriff, your district attorney, your state representatives and state senators, your governor, your attorney general. The closer you get government to the people, the more important government becomes. If we look at COVID and how COVID affected us, who were the individuals or who were the groups or the government entities that were locking us down? They were our city councilors. Who's allowing pornography in our schools? Well, our school administrators are, but with the permission of the school boards. The school boards are the governing authority of each individual school district. So we have a lot of work to do. First of all, we have to vet candidates. And we need to have questions that we are prepared to ask them when they come knocking on our door or we're at a meeting. Pointed questions, not yes and no questions, that have them explain to them, what's your position on this issue? How do you feel about the Constitution? If you're talking, what do you think about state authority? And tell us, how are you going to reduce our taxes and give our money back to us with that $7 or $8 billion surplus? What are you going to do? We need to know these questions beforehand. Another thing is, I want to challenge you. This is the supreme law of the land. It's called the U.S. Constitution. I would challenge you, go back and read the Declaration of Independence, see what our colonial ancestors were dealing with in the tyranny that was occurring at the time that the Declaration was actually penned, and kind of compare it to where we've been over the last 2 or 3, 4 years. I think you're going to find the Declaration of Independence very relevant to today. I challenge you to go and read the Constitution. This is the supreme law of the land. I don't care what law they pass, what statute they pass, what the Supreme Court says. This is the law of the land. Every law should be compared against the U.S. Constitution. So where do we go from here? Ask questions of your candidates. Understand the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. Read them, understand them, and know them. And then also, we as a people, we need to get on our knees. Benjamin Franklin said, the longer I live, the more I understand this central truth, that God governs in the affairs of man. If a sparrow cannot fall from a tree without his notice, how can a nation rise? I believe in those principles. We need to ask our Creator, the Supreme Being, to forgive us of our national sins. And we need to humble ourselves. The Bible also says, if my people who are called by name will humble themselves and turn towards me and ask for the forgiveness of their sins, I will forgive them of their sins and heal their land. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to get back to that. We need to understand the founding principles that made this country great so we can return back to greatness.